So once your career was done with football, Matt, you made that transition into the media.
I did.
What was that transition like?
It was pretty easy, actually. I actually got asked to do my first midweek soccer special on Sky just before I retired. So I kind of dipped my foot in a little bit, and then after I retired, I was freelance. So I was doing a bit of work for the BBC. I was on Football Focus, did a few of those for them. Was still working occasionally for Sky when they'd phone up and they were short of somebody, or somebody was off ill. So I was like a replacement on Soccer Saturday for a couple of years, and then in 2004 or January 2005, Rodney Marsh, who was the regular on the panel at Soccer Saturday, made an inappropriate joke live on Sky, and was probably the first of the cancel culture, and he got sacked for saying the wrong thing, for making a joke which they didn't find was very appropriate. So they rang me up and said, "Oh, can you do every Saturday?"
Nice.
So I was like, "Yeah, why not? It's good fun." So I did that for the rest of the season, and then Sky came to me at the start of the next season and said, "Oh, we'd like to sign you under contract."
Yeah.
Because I was just getting paid every time I went on. They said, "We'd like to give you a year's contract." So I was like, years really neither here nor there. I said, "So, you know, I'm doing work for other people. That means I'd have to stop doing that." I said, "So, I'll tell you what, if you make it 2 years, I'll sign it."
Mm-hmm.
And so I then I waited about 4 or 5 weeks. I had heard nothing back from them. And I was like, oh shit, I think I've blown that one. And then after about 6 weeks, they come back and went, "Yeah, okay, we'll give you a 2-year contract." So, and that was the start of it. And then I just kind of became a regular on the show. You know, we got shortly after that, I think Paul Merson joined.
Yeah.
And then it was me, Charlie, Phil and Merce became the regulars pretty much every Saturday, and we built up a great bond on the show. You know, we had a great friendship. We could also have arguments on the show, which was brilliant because we were all pretty strong, opinionated people. We all loved our football. We were passionate about our football, and sometimes we had different opinions. And I think that's what made the show so popular amongst people.
So those 15 years sadly came to an end. Can you talk to us about the departure from Sky Sports?
Yeah. So in August 2020, I'd been quite outspoken on speaking out about what I felt was wrong decisions being made by our government. It didn't go down too well with my employers that I was going against the narrative and, you know, speaking up for a different way of dealing with what was happening. And so I also refused to wear the Black Lives Matter badge anymore on Sky. I don't think that went down particularly well. There were reasons for that, which, you know, I'm happy to go into. I'd kind of looked into that organisation, wasn't happy with what their ideology was, and wasn't prepared to support it by wearing a badge, using those same words. So, you know, I was quite happy to wear any badge that kick it out racism stuff, because, you know, I think like most of us in life, I think there's only a small minority of people that are actually racist. And most people are sensible people who judge people by what's in their heart, not what the colour of their skin is. And so I don't think that went down particularly well, because, you know, it was a very strong message being portrayed by the media at the time. And so in August I got a phone call, or I was invited onto a Zoom call actually, under the pretense of talking about, you know, what the coming season is going to be looking like.
Was this just you and Sky execs?
So it was. I thought it was just going to be me and the head of football at Sky. So when I got the Zoom thing, there was another name copied in on the email. So I was like, oh, okay, I don't know this bloke. So when I clicked on, he was introduced to me, and at that point I thought, okay, there's a reason why he's here. And it was a very, very short call. They just said, look, we're sorry to tell you that there's no more work here for you at Sky. I had about 7 months left of my contract to run. They said, there's no more work for you at Sky. We're going,
just like that,
we're going in a different direction, and there's no more work for you. So that's it.
So 15 years.
So 15 years.
Just done over a Zoom call like that.
Yeah. So I just said, oh, can I just ask a question? I said, has this got anything to do with my posts on social media? And he stuttered a little bit, and he went, he said, well, we do have to take into account the reputation of our company.
Wow.
At which point I went, you didn't seem to mind about the reputation of your company when you just re-employed Jamie Carragher, who spat at a young girl out the back of his car, and you've taken him back on. And he suddenly went, oh no, we can't talk about other people. So I was like, no, that's fair enough, whatever. And that was it. That was the end of my career at Sky.
How do you feel about that Jamie Carragher situation?
I was surprised that he was allowed back onto the television, quite frankly.
And then comparing it back to yours about how you got dismissed.
I got dismissed for
having of that.
I got dismissed for having an opinion that went against the narrative. I got basically I was sacked for having the temerity to have my own opinion on things in life. And so, you know, the way the company's gone anyway, to be honest, it was probably the best thing that could have happened. I don't think I could have carried on working for that organisation given the way that they've gone.
Has Jamie reached out to you about that or anything?
Oh yeah.
And discussed it?
Oh yeah, I had a phone call from Jamie because I discussed what we had. I did a conversation with on a podcast and we discussed that very same situation. And so in the summer, Jamie rang me up and decided to give me 10 minutes of abuse down the phone. Oh, no. Because I had the temerity to speak about what had happened and him spitting at this girl out of his car. And he was shouting at me down the phone, you've brought embarrassment upon me and my family by bringing this up. And I went, Jamie, let me stop you there. I said, I think the one who brought embarrassment on you and your family was you, mate, because you did that. Yeah. And so I'm sorry if you're uncomfortable with me speaking about that. That's not my problem. Yeah. You know, it happened. You got to own it, mate. And I was literally walking down the street in London with my phone like that, and my missus walking next to me. She's going, "What is that?" I went, "It's Jamie Carragher. He's having a go." And I'm literally walking down, and he's getting more and more madder at me, and I'm just being really calm, and I'm just pointing out facts to him back at him. And he started having all sorts, saying he's going to troll me on social media. Oh, God. You know, I'm going to be all over your tweets, blah, blah, blah. Like, almost threatening me like some kid at school. Yeah, childish. And I was like, come on, Jamie, really? I'm 54. you ain't intimidating me, mate. In the end, I put the phone down when he'd had enough. And my missus just looked at me and she went, do you know what? She said, you're really annoying. I went, what do you mean? She went, he's trying to argue with you and you stay so calm, I know how he feels.
There's nothing more frustrating, is there, when you're having an argument with someone and they're just chill, mellow, not giving anything back. Yeah. But it's probably the way to be, isn't it? And kind of, I don't stand on, really. I don't like confrontation. When confrontation is not needed, then why would you get into that situation? So I like to try and de-escalate things and bring it down to a level where you can have a calm conversation and then you can try and work through things. So just going back to that Sky departure, is there anything that you wish you'd done differently? Do you wish you'd kind of been less outspoken on social media? I agree, I understand your opinion, but for the kind of like sake of career, do you regret it? Or?
No regrets, no. I believe that we should have a free speech in this country, and I don't think that you should be penalised in any way for having an opinion that goes against the government narrative, and I don't think that's a radical position to take. I think that's quite a sensible position to have, and one that if we don't have, then I think we're in a pretty bad spot in this country, because it allows the government to start dictating things and to start having more control over your life than they should do.
Has anyone from Sky reached out to you? Did any of the kind of the old Soccer Saturday crew reach out? Oh
yeah, loads. Yeah, loads of. I had loads of messages of support from people.
Support, yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of the time, there was messages saying, actually, you know what, we actually think the same as you, but we need our job. And we need it.
Not as outspoken as.
But so. I understand to a point that that's a situation. People want to keep their jobs, so they keep quiet. Yeah. But I'm different to that.
So do you feel like that departure from Sky was almost a blessing in disguise?
I mean, it's difficult to call it a blessing in disguise because I enjoyed my job. Yeah. I loved working with my mates. So I miss working with Tomo and Charlie and Merce and Jeff every week. It was great fun. So to call it a blessing in disguise is probably not the right way to do it.
Yep.
But as I said, the way that the direction that the company has gone in, I think it was for the best that I wasn't there anymore, because I don't think I could have worked in that environment.